Spanish ex-minister Inga Silver is accused of unlawfully ordering the separation of young asylum-seeking couples. Wow. 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 Okay, we'll be looking into that as well. Mr. Zelensky finally goes to Washington. The Ukrainian president, pressed by Donald Trump, gets his White House visit, and a new set of worries develops there as well. We'll be bringing you more on that front. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Kashmir separatist leader Gilani dies at 92. Said Ali Gilani, a stern critic of India, was under house arrest for much of the last decade, but he is passed on. All right, then. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is 11 o'clock. Pretty soon we shall have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us to bring us updates from Nigeria. Ivory TV host sentenced for condoning rape. Wow. Ivy Mbela has been given a 12-month suspended prison sentence amid public protests for condoning rape. We'll bring you more on that front. But interestingly, there's this story from Zambia. The new Zambian president says that I'm inheriting empty treasury. Now, corruption is at a horrifying level. Hakinde Hichilema has said to the BBC, he said a week after being sworn in, I think he went in there, he checked the coffers, absolutely nothing in there. But well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Abiodan Iola, it says, good morning to you, sir. Matthew Ayodeji Onocheta, giving us some of the stories that's making the round. 73 Zamfara students abduction. ACF fumes as government tells residents to fight back. Really? Okay. Ekiti community protests as bandits kidnap couple. Two others demanding what? 10 million naira. Where are they going to get that money from to call it pay as a ransom for their loved ones to be released? Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But in Nigeria, sir, convener of the concerned Nigerian groups and social critic Deji Adeyanju has taken yet another swipe at the president, Muhammadu Buhari, stating that all he does is eat, sleep, and waste taxpayers' money. Well, we'll be looking into that story as well. It is Starr Radio UK. There were a couple of stories that I wanted to bring your way from there. One other from there, Fulani headsmen are being sponsored. That's what David Oyadipo is saying. The senior pastor of the Living Faith Ministry, Bishop David Oyadipo, has said that the Fulani headsmen have become a menace in the country and that he knows they are being sponsored. And that is a serious statement or allegation that is made. We'll try to scrutinize that, but if you think otherwise or you have any more information about that, why not? Feel free and send that to us. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now some of the final stories making the rounds. Samuel Akufo-Addo's ability to protect the public purse not influenced by propaganda. We didn't talk about that yesterday, but we'll be looking more details into that. Okay. Refund money is collected from job applicants at state agencies, CPP, to government. Job applicants, they don't have the money yet. The little that they have, they are taking that one as well. But as whether they get a job or not is another question. Okay. Interestingly, Kwame Yeboah, one of the, he's a journalist, a commentator as well. He said, why decline the deputy ministerial job under Kufuor and Atta Mills? Why has he done that? He doesn't want to be involved in any governance stuff like that. But really, we'll be looking into those stories as well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, before we take the break, Some more stories that's coming from Nigeria. Presidency accuses IPOB of killing officers, stockpiling bombs across Nigeria. Really? Now, again, strike looms as ASU waits till midnight for federal government to meet demands. And Olayomi says it's difficult to erase what is embedded in the heart. Neither bullet nor detention can do that. And I agree with you 200% there. Because if you're convicted about something, about a cause that you believe in, please go on. It doesn't matter the hills, it doesn't matter the mountains, it doesn't matter the valley, it doesn't matter the tongues or anything that is thrown at you. You believe in it. Some way, somehow, God gives you the grace to be able to go or advance in such projects or whatever. Maybe you might not even be there to see it, but like some people have done in the past in various parts of the world, they fought for it, and now we see their children or their children's children enjoying it. So maybe it can happen. Why not? Let's go on. Let's enjoy this song from Joe Metal and the Better Revival Choir saying, "He's good. He's good. Who is good? God is good." Enjoy it, and I'll be with you. situation or the challenge might be, somewhere, somehow, we are able to go on. It doesn't matter how much we step on or press or, wow. That is how you see the strength in human beings. That when you're convicted, you are able to go on. So wherever you are, listening to us this morning, we want to encourage you. Whatever fight you are fighting, whatever challenges that you are facing, some way, somehow, continue with it. And I can promise you that you will come through. But at this juncture, it's gone. 10 minutes past 11, and that means that I've got the one and only Mr. Olayomi Koiki who has joined us. And once again, going to bring you sound news that is bringing around in Nigeria. And I say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, it is a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. The 2nd of September 2021, 10 minutes past. Welcome again to Starr Radio UK.
How are you doing, sir?
Well, it's another beautiful morning. The view outside is quite a little bit, sunny, but windy underneath as well. It is good to be back again, and we'd like to welcome all our listeners and viewers that have joined us from different parts of the globe that have also connected with us on all other platforms as well. We welcome you to Starr Radio UK, where we're going to be taking you through the morning section of this program.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki from our North London studios bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let's get started with this students' abduction once again. This morning, I think I was monitoring some story across the globe, and then I had some news coming. I couldn't go to cross-check it, but it was saying that whether the governors, the North or something, have said that all schools should be shut down. I don't know how true that is.
Well, yeah, you're quite right. This morning, it is a sad news as usual that in Zamfara State, we've come across another situation of terrorist kidnapping. As of yesterday, the numbers were not really sure, but we knew that the terrorists came in with motorbikes. Let's give an example. I was able to work it out yesterday. If we have 50 terrorists, coming in with a motorbike, you would expect that, how many individuals can they cater away if each of these terrorists are the only one on the bike. So that means an average of 2 people or about 3, because you can get about 4 people on a motorbike, especially if they are not, in big in stature. So easily, a 50 motorbike can easily cut away 150 individuals. But yesterday, from what we are getting this morning, 73 students are now in the hands of the terrorists as we speak right now. Gunmen, terrorists, invaded the government day secondary school at Kaya in the Maradon local government area of Zamfara State and took away no fewer than 73 students. From what was gathered, this barely 5 days after some students of the College of Agriculture and Animal Science were released. So it seems, this has now become a norm. The ones that were released were in the hands of the terrorists for a very long time until this new one has also kicked in yesterday as well. As of the time the gunmen were attacking Kaya School, the state governor, Bello Matawa, was attending a prayer section organized by his administration where he called on his residents of the state to rise up and fight the bandit back.
I am a person of faith. I am a person of faith. I know Yomi is a person of faith. Frank is a person of faith. And I think it's gotten to a point where they think that nothing can be done by themselves. So go and appeal to God and then appeal to the citizens that now you have to rise up and fight for yourself. But the question that people will be asking is, when the taxes that we are paying, where is it going? Who is protecting us? Do we all go get arms and now just fight our way forward, or what exactly is going to happen? But we're bringing you more details on that. So we had information saying that some students who were kidnapped had been released. Was it sometime last week or any part of this week?
Well, this at the last week, just about 5 days ago, we had the ones that were also kidnapped from the college student of agriculture and science in Bakura. That was about 5 days ago. After some of the students of the college were released, occurred about 11 a.m. when the students were sitting the examination. So the ones of the agriculture and animal science were also taken away for a very long time until they got their freedom back. Whatever must have happened to them is something that will be traumatizing most of them as well. Let us also remember that four of those died in the hands of the bandits as well. I mean, it's quite sad. And I was hearing what Dejade Oju, an activist was saying right there as well. I saw and I still have a video of some of those students before they were released, and we also know that few of them died in the hands of the kidnappers as well. But one thing is a lot of the particular state like Zamfara State and those in the northeast are facing so much as well. The Zamfara College of Agriculture in Bakura local government area, that gave, where this incident happened. We found out that four of them died, and also the gate man was also killed when that incident occurred. Though you wonder why the security operatives are not getting the hands of where these individuals are taken to. I mean, if they're taken in between Nigeria or the border, you'll expect them to find them. But again, this is not happening.
All right. Okay. And then still on the kidnapping issue, we have a Ekiti community protesting as bandits kidnapped a couple and two others. And what are they demanding? 10 million naira. How much do these people earn? How are they going to raise that money?
Well, you're quite right. Ekiti State is in the southwest of the country, and yes, 10 million naira is a huge amount of money. For a lot of our family that probably earn nothing or less. I mean, we've got to remember most of most of Nigerians are still a country that is quite a lot of abject poverty in the country, and if somebody is demanding 10 million naira, you're looking at close to, I'm just trying to give you a kind of a figure for those of our listeners all over the world. 10 million naira would probably give you just somewhere around 14,000 pounds. That is what they are demanding from. So I'm sure even an average earner in UK, 14,000 pounds would have to come in a bit every month, either through their wages and a lot of hard work. But if a terrorist organization have taken advantage of what is happening in Nigeria, as we speak today, angry resident of Ajabamidele area of Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, on Wednesday, protested against the alleged kidnap of four residents by gunmen on Tuesday. The placard carrying residents trooped out in large number as early as 7 a.m. and blocked the busy Ado Ikere Ekiti highway, leaving commuters stranded just as business activities were also paralyzed. Would this now be the next norm where people will start coming out when their loved ones are being kidnapped and they can't raise the money, and then you wonder what the state governor, Kayode Fayemi, which is the governor of the state, would have to do. The resident decried the level of insecurity in the community, called on both the federal and the state government to do something to save them from criminals. But if I then go quickly back to what the Yoruba social cultural group said just under 72 hours, that then align with exactly what we are saying in the Yoruba land, and not just in the Yoruba land, in the northeast, in the northwest, and in the southeast as well. Afenifere, the state of the nation, Nigerians should defend themselves against terrorists.
Nigerians should defend themselves against terrorists. But how are they going to do it when people in the south cannot get their hands on their arms? Because somebody's coming to fight you with guns, and then you're going to take a stick, or going to take the one that David killed Goliath? Is that what you're going to be using? Well, we're going to be looking at all the stories, some details from there. But it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in the North London studios. I'm Archie here, but we will go back to Yomi for some of the other developments in Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Once again, a good morning and welcome as you're joining us for this morning program on the issues, news coming out of Nigeria. Let's go straight to some other headline as well. security agent Ba Alaafin Olubadan from Lekan Salami Stadium inauguration. That is quite, a news that I'm sure coming out this morning will not be a very good one, especially for the governor of the state. That might be filmed that one of the royal fathers, was kind of barred by the security agent, during the inauguration of the Lekan Salami Stadium. That was after 5.4 billion naira was spent to renovate it. Security agent Ba Alaafin and Olubadan. These are top, royal fathers within the Yoruba land. So let's look into that story. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, and the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Saliu Adetunji, reportedly left the Lekan Salami Sport Complex in anger on Wednesday evening after security operatives deployed at the entrance of the newly remodeled stadium prevented them from going in. That is a security breach itself. We're talking about two top monarchs within the Yoruba land that were not allowed to get into the stadium. What went wrong? Who are those security operatives? I'm sure all that will be reviewed by the governor that probably will not be having a very good time, within this state, especially with these two monarchs. According to what was gathered, the prominent traditional rulers had gone to the stadium with their aides, but the security agent stopped them. And we are not talking about them alone. It was learned that the 82-year-old Alaafin and the 93-year-old Olubadan monarch were made to wait for almost 30 minutes as the security agent at the gate were said to have insisted that just one of the aides will be allowed to go in with each of the monarchs. And this, I'm sure, one of the people who saw the scene said they were pushing and shoving at the gate, and the monarch left the venue in anger. The spokesman of Olubadan, Chief Adiola Oloko, when was contacted on phone, confirmed the shabby treatment of the royal fathers. And like I said, the governor this morning would have to think about what went wrong at the Lekan Salami renovated stadium, which the inauguration did not allow two top monarchs of the state to get entrance into that. I'll come back again slightly to you in the studio because I can see that you probably want to add a voice to that before we go into some other headline as well.
Yeah, interesting, because I thought that when the monarch are going to various places, they have some clearance for them, and then they need to book how many people or their entourage because of everything that is happening when it comes to security issues. So you cannot just let people just walk through. So I seem not to understand whether the protocol, the necessary protocol that has to be observed wasn't observed, and that's why maybe they came in. Every monarch would have come to, let's say, five members of five entourage, but it was more than that. So is that what happened?
Well, you're quite right. The first foremost is, the monarch should not go through the same gate, with any other individuals. But again, this is Nigeria. I mean, if this is a stadium, you definitely have, multiple entrance to it, and they will have easily brought them through, like the back door rather than allowing them to go through, the main entrance that other individuals that were trying to get into the stadium. And yes, you're quite right. When these monarchs are moving around, they move with numbers of people for different reasons. Not just for security. I mean, these are our traditional monarch, and it's just like the Queen leaving Buckingham Palace, and is not allowed to get into either the the stadium close to her in Westminster or the one that she was invited, and you could imagine what could have been the situation. So not just that they put the monarch in a security situation by allowing them to get stuck among the crowd, because that itself is a danger, but like I said, it still shows the lack of organizing things in the country that also left the monarch leaving a stadium that they were actually invited to review and view during the opening inauguration.
Interesting. Listen, as Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Let me acknowledge Abraham Mawula. He's saying that, look, when I say Nigeria is dead and buried forever, people think I'm crazy. Is Nigeria a nation? He's looking at everything that is happening and asking the question, is Nigeria a nation? And QS John Olawafemi says, good morning, White Lion. I know it's very Mr. Olayomi Koiki. All right, over to you, John.
Yes, Nigeria Eurobond debt rise by $9.37 billion in 5 years. That is coming from the headline this morning. And likewise, remittance Senate accused NMPC and the CBN others of underpayment. These are part of reason why things do not work. If remittance that is meant from the NMPC and the CBN are then being underpaid, then there's a problem. APC uphold Abiodun loyalist Congress ignores Amoso groups. As we can see that the issues of 2023 is also almost coming up, and there will be a lot of tuffle. Just as we saw the PDP trial last week, it also seems this week is all about the APC. Court stop APC local Congress restraint Goni caretaker committee. Let's go into the headline a little bit. The High Court sitting in Asaba has stopped the schedule. All the Progressive Congress, local government Congress in Delta State slated for September 4, 2021. The court presided by Justice Onome Marshall also restrained Governor Maya Malabuni of Yobe State along with other members from acting or parading as the All Progressive Congress National Caretaker Committee until the determination of a substantive suit before the court. The deputy chairman APC, Olorogun, with other officials of Delta APC had approached the court at the heels of July 10 controverted World Congress in Delta State. And as you can see, there's quite a lot, going on within these two political parties. We saw the whole situation where, as at last week, whether the Secondus will continue to be the APC chairman, but eventually it seems the PDP were not having it, and now he's no longer the chairman of the party as we speak right now. Let's go straight into some other headline, and then we'll come back again to you in the studio. If you've just joined us, it is still Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Are we going to see another strike by ASU? Last year, 9 months was what took place between the federal government and the university, where the students were all left, sitting down at home. And like I always say, a female student, if not careful, will probably be carrying a 9-month pregnant by the time she's going back, to university last year. Let's look at what is going to happen again. The Academic Staff Union of University, known as ASU, is waiting until midnight today, which was yesterday, midnight today, for the federal government to meet demands or risk the union embarking on another round of strike. According to what we have revealed, that the national leadership of the union wants to give the government the benefit of doubt and let the ultimatum the union gave it lapse before taking the next step. Are we going into the round of another strike? 9 months was what happened last year when so many of the students were left at home. It doesn't seem to be going well between the presidency and Amnesty International. Presidency replies Amnesty International promised to fight terrorism to stand still. The presidency has condemned Amnesty International last Sabo at Nigeria, regretting that they have decided to side with terrorists. So it seems the presidency believes that the Amnesty is siding with the terrorists before the liberty of those they injured, displaced, and murdered. Malam Gabashew, the senior special assistant to the president, media and publicity, made the government position known in the statement yesterday. Also, I'd like to appreciate those that joined us at Nigeria Voices yesterday in the midst of some of the network that we had. We hope to be much more next week for another fantastic program. We were discussing the open grazing yesterday, and we're reviewing all other issues surrounding Nigeria. According to Amnesty International recent claim that the federal government is harassing its critics and other militia. The presidential aide, however, dismissed the allegation, saying the government will continue to fight terrorism with all the means at its disposal, no matter the criticism it faces for doing so. Amnesty International latest Sabo at Nigeria is both of the same. So, like I said, it doesn't seem to be going well between the presidency and likewise, the federal government as well. JAM cancels national cutoff mark. It seems the government is now looking into some of what also the agitation have been saying. Let's give you a background to those that might not understand what that means. There is this cutoff mark that comes in when you sit down for the Joint Admission Matriculation Board, known as JAM, has now cancelled the National Admission Benchmark, otherwise called cutoff mark. With the scrapping of the age-long method, each of the nation's tertiary institution is now authorized to peg its admission benchmark. So in the past, if you have had a low cutoff mark for somebody in the north, you had opportunity to get into any tertiary institution in the southeast or the southwest. But if you have a big cutoff mark, but you cannot get up to whether it is 235 for somebody that wants to get to Unilife, but you've got 232, you will not be allowed to get into University of Lagos or University of Ife. You will then have to do other options by moving out of Lagos to get into a tertiary institution outside Lagos. But if you have 150 cutoff mark in the north, you are guaranteed a position in that same university that someone that had 230 or 233 but could not get 235. So these were part of the the system that has been going on for a very long time, and it seems JAM has been probably following some of those self-determination agitation, because these are part of the points that have been continuously raised, and maybe they're trying to use this to hold those that still wants to believe in one Nigeria. The decision was taken at the 2021 policy meeting, which was held virtually Tuesday and presided over by the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu. Already, university, polytechnics, and college of education have sent their various cutoff marks to JAM. Speaking during the meeting of the Registrar of JAM, Professor Issa Oloyede said some universities, such as University of Maiduguri, proposed 150, as you can see, very, very low in Maiduguri. Usman Danfodio University Sokoto proposed 140, again extremely very low. Pan Atlantic University proposed 210. That means you're coming up to the southwest. University of Lagos proposed 200. You can see the difference. Lagos State University 190, Covenant University 190, Bayero University Kano 180. The stakeholder also approved October 29, 2021 as deadline for the closure of amendment for the 2021 admission. I'll come back slide to you in the studio, and then we'll review some other headlines as we continue with the morning program. Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki Kojo, not flying the studios of Archie here in the main studios in Croydon.
And just before I let you go in, there's a comment coming here says, which cutoff marks by Pastor Mo Adesanya, which cutoff marks when they have used quota system to destroy Yoruba youth's life?
Worry, Kabir Osani says, good morning, keep the good work and remain blessed. Hello, Rajo, thank you for all those comments there as well. But let's look at some other stories that have also come across here this morning. The senior pastor of the Living Faith Ministry, Bishop David Oyedepo, is pertaining to headsmen and the menace that yesterday was discussed on the Niger Voices as well. He said the Fulani headsmen have become a menace in the country, and he knows, that is it, he knows that they are being sponsored. His comments are coming shortly after cattle headsmen, the Miyaja, Ala, Kawuta, already said that they will not recognize the Southern Cabinet's anti-grazing policy, describing it as satanic. Oyedepo, while preaching in the church recently, said the last 5 years from the 2015 till now have been the worst in the history of Nigeria. Now, he said Fulani headsmen have become a menace. They are sponsored. I know it. He talks about how he knows it. He tries to bring the spiritual connotation into it. But, Yomi, I know that he's got a big following. What has his followers said, and what about those in the southern part pertaining to this Mayati Allah people, what the statement that they made?
Well, it's not the first time that we've. Who is he? Let's look at background. David Oyedepo is a Nigerian preacher, Christian, author, businessman, architect, and the founder of the preceding Bishop of Mega Church Faith in Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria, and the Living Faith Church worldwide. Yes, quite a lot of followers that he does have. But let's see if we can hear what he says about this government some 3 years ago.
And you don't sell anything by force. Forever, I stand on the power that no government has authority to collect any land from those who own it and transfer it to another person. And on the other side, it never happens. How? Please be awake. Don't be part of the blind and the deaf in Isaiah 42 who don't know when war closing on them. Pray today or live under pressure tomorrow. Push the war back. Nigeria shall not see war. This again, I repeat forever. No matter who anybody may post to be, will never become a fool and any public. Nigeria will never become a fool and any public.
And you can hear it quite. I mean, I decided to play that audio so that you can just get the feel of. I mean, this video was 3 years ago. Nigeria will not become a Fulani country. You cannot give or take our land. And these are still part of the reason why so many people believe that the union has a crack, just like the vice president said in September last year. And what you are discussing is quite right, because about almost a few days back now in Kogi State, in one of their branches, 3 of their members were abducted, kidnapped by the terrorists, that invaded that church. And he has always been a man that speaks, directly to the to the federal government, to Buhari himself. I mean, in as much as you will expect the DSS to have picked him up, but that doesn't seem to have happened yet. Report that Oyedepo had declared that Nigerians will not repeat the error that produced President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015. Oyedepo said Nigeria would experience a new order of settlement because the earlier error would not be repeated. He spoke during his church first service at Kilan Land Ota in Ogun State yesterday. I warned, and this is from him, I warned Nigerians in 2015 about this evil government. Bishop Oyedepo. Oyedepo noted that Nigerians made the error of electing Buhari because they failed to listen to him in 2015.
Well, we have Adeyanjo, who has revealed that Buhari is revealing what Buhari does in Asoro. And he says that, well, you know what the president does? He seems to be wasting all our money. You know what he's doing? He's eating, sleeping, and wasting taxpayers' money. Has he been picked up?
Well, he has been picked up so many times I probably lost count as well. And I'm just looking at his Twitter handle right now, and on top of the Twitter, on his background there, it says, "Injustice is so painful." Comrade Deji Adeyanju is an activist, a prisoner of conscience, fighting for the people. He's also the convener of Concern Nigeria, and also the board member of African Horizon. So he's a well-known individual, just like Omoyele Sowore and the rest of the young Nigerians that are vibrant. And he lives in Abuja. In the midst of what is happening and what he says, he's not scared of his life, according to him. Now I think I have a background of how many times he has been arrested, because this is a pin on his Twitter page there. Deji Adeyanju arrested 6 times in 2018, sent to prison 3 times. The goal was to charge him for terrorism so he wouldn't get bail, which was why he was sent to Kefi prison. When that failed, they dug up an old case where he was discharged and acquitted. So you could see that, he's not, someone that have not been to the prison. He has been arrested 6 times. But you're quite right. Some of his tweets that also reach over roughly 128 followers on his Twitter handle on a daily basis. So whatever he put out, that message also traveled, across. It's quite interesting that the new stadium that we were discussing earlier, that the 2 monarchs cannot allow. There's another tweet that is got there. Governor Seyi Makinde 5.3 million project in mud because the whole water was filled up with the stadium yesterday. A lot of people say, well, there's a lot of rain let us try a little bit to bear with with the governor. They've renovated the stadium, and rain does have bad effect on the pitch. We see whether they will be able to amend that. But like you said, Buhari more incompetent than minister is sacked, sleeping as Nigeria burns. And that is the message coming from DG Adeyanju, this morning. And it says the president Muhammadu Buhari has been accused of being more incompetent than the two ministers he sacked. The Adeyanju base, in a tweet, described Buhari as the most clueless Nigerian president ever. According to Adeyanju, Buhari is more incompetent than the two ministers he sacked. All he does is sleep in Aso Rock while the country burns, eat free food, waste taxpayers' money in London hospital bills. Most clueless Nigerian president ever.
Well, DSS have not heard that. After our organization, hashtag Mazi Namdekano and Sunday Igboho-Osha, aka the Kango. Okay, and Amayo says it's better late than never, but still, Yoruba Nation now, no going back. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, I have one story. Let me bring that one before I let you finish with what you have. That's an interesting one. Well, once we were discussing the kidnapping, I was saying there should be high-profile kidnappings that will go on. If it goes on, there may be to make Buhari sit down. Now, 3 members of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly on Wednesday reportedly escaped death following an attack by some unknown gunmen at Woyeng village along Akwanga Lafia Road. It's gathered that the honorable members, Samuel Chebi, representing Akwanga South constituency, David Mayaki, representing Karo Itata constituency, and Peter Akwe, who represents OB1 constituency, were returning from the burial ceremony of the brother-in-law to Honorable Chebi. Now, do you think that maybe high-profile kidnapping or attacks like that will make their leaders sit up?
Well, maybe or not. That's the question. I mean, just under the weekend, we saw a sitting senator lost his son, killed in his home, and again, a pilot of 37 years old. And we believe that again, maybe these will bring that, hurdles that a lot of average Nigerians are facing, like those that have been kidnapped in Ekiti, where they're demanding 10 million. Also, yes, that story that you just talked about, I was also able to, to write a small report on it as well. And yes, they do call them bandit, assailant, or non-gunmen. But what we do know is there's a lot of influx of terrorists. There's a particular video that I've we've been sent this morning. And looking at those videos, you could now see that these terrorists are now wearing more of a military uniform, because the invasion that they've done in either checkpoint and the Nigerian Defense Academy, remember, people were killed and ammunitions and stuff were taken away. And this video is quite alarming, because now that you might not know who is on the high road stopping you, you might think it's a proper military check, but realize that it might be too late, that you are in the hands of the terrorists. So yes, a sitting lawmaker, Samuel Tesibe, is a member of the Nasarawa State Assembly, like you did talk about, with other 2 individuals were almost killed, but he was able to escape. He has reported the incident, to the police, and yes, the police spokesman Rahman Nansar confirmed that the lawmaker reported the incident to Police Commissioner Additional Shoyemi. The whole country is currently going through a kind of a turbulence, but we see how long this can hold with this turbulence that we are facing at the moment.
Well, listeners, it is time for people to rise up and fight for themselves as the leadership are calling for. But if you're listening to us, your comments, be free to put them on our page, or you can call in at 12 o'clock when the lines are open. All right, then. But let's go back to Yomi for what is happening, the last stories that he has, and then what is happening on the social media platform. But before then, everyone Joe says that religion has never been a problem in Yoruba land. Fanatics can move to the north or wherever that suits them Hashtag Yoruba Nation now and hashtag End Nigeria now to save lives. Okay, over to you, Yoki.
Simon O. Adebisi said it is chaotic. That is coming from the comment on this side. Badebo Clement Adepoju said this not happened in Ekiti when the previous governor Fayosho was there. That is also coming from the comment here as well. We'll take two more comments and then go straight to the rest of it. Ade, the king never see anything. Another big disgrace is coming for them. Princess Adebimpe Adeyemi, Nigeria is dead. That is all I know. And Yoruba Nation now. It doesn't seem to have gone very well with the legal representatives of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with the DSS. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer stripped naked by the DSS. What could have happened? The lawyer to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has decried the harassment, intimidation, manhandling he faced with the DSS when he visited his client on Tuesday. Barrister Ifeyi Ejiofor, the lead counsel, in his update on his visit to the IPOB leader, said despite his protest last week, DSS operatives harassed him and his legal team during their visit to Nnamdi Kanu. He said they were practically stripped naked while DSS was searching for incriminating materials during a court order visit. And it shows, the lawlessness and how DSS have become the new government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We're going to go straight to what is trending on Twitter, then I'm going to come back slightly back again to you in the studio, like we always do. Let's see what UK in Nigeria is coming this morning. Glad to have the Deputy High Commissioner met some Chevron scholars following their 2020 applications. They will be heading for a fully funded master program at the university. Applications are still open for next year. That is coming from the UK British High Commission in Nigeria this morning. Also, Moji Adesanya says, Oro Afirewa Keti, that is a Yoruba language. And again, Tunde Bakari, no to 4 years regular renewal of slavery social contract. Yes to liberation of the masses. Participatory democracy is the 21st century sustainability governance. And that is coming from Tunde Bakari on Twitter. Let's take one more. Lekan Otu Fodorin at Loto Dufuri says, journalists and persons living with disabilities interested in training on solution journalism to produce content in Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Gambia under my hashtag Sojo Africa Fellowship Project, West African Solution Journalism Hub. So we can tell that there's quite a lot of people that have disability challenges in Nigeria and African countries that probably will never have a kind of opportunity. Dele Farotimi at Dele Farotimi, robbed of citizenship, we are being stripped of our humanity and rendered unvicious human. 4 years ago, he posted something which is now repeating back. On this day 4 years ago, 100 died in Burma, and we were just showing Charlie as the citizens perish in Benue flood. We are also focused on Houston. We crazy. Question mark Nigeria. So what is implemented, which was September 2nd, 2017, when 100 people died in Burma, we were just showing Charlie. As citizens perish in Benue flood, we were focused on the Houston. We are crazy. That is what he says. And that is going to be from me. Let me come back now to you in the studio. It is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, 11:48 this morning.
Yes, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki Kojo updates from Nigeria. Now, you can go and also now listen to some of the updates and that you can share with us. Feel free to do so. Anytime we are on and you have some information, feel free to share it with us. Yomi, let me say thank you very much for this wonderful update once again.
Thank you very much, and make sure you stay tuned as Archie take you through the last segment of this morning show this morning. I'll be back again same time tomorrow, 11 o'clock, in different location. It is Starr Radio UK. Have a blessed morning. Bye for now.
And you, bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We want to take a musical break. There's one that I always play when it comes to the African leaders.
2nd, 2021. Na the Ogbonge Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and indigenous people of Biafra. We go millet titi. Make una join the rally. We go start for Thursday, September 30 as we go march Kelele from British Embassy with the Massachusetts to White House for Washington DC between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. As we proceed the following day will be Friday, October 4th. We go march from White House to Capitol Hill between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we go march back to White House. And for Saturday, October 2nd will be the last day of the rally. We go day White House till night. This na the 3 days marathon mega rally for Washington DC, USA, and it go happen for September 30, October 1 and October 2nd, 2021. Dress code na black. Leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Leader of Ilanomu Udua Worldwide, Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye. Yoruba Nation activist, Chief Sunday Adeyemo Sunday Igboho. Chief Imam, Yoruba Land in Nigeria, African Muslim leader, Sheikh Abdulrahim Aduanigba. Now the correctment Yoruba Nation and indigenous people of Biafra powered the rally and it dey endorsed by all self-determination groups and media wey dey obodoyibo.
Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and indigenous people of Biafra. Ọwọ́ tí bá ń dun ni ẹnìkan kì í fi sábẹ́ aṣọ. Bòmí mọ́ra kí n pa ọ́nà rún wí. Tú mi síta kí n fi ọ́ sílẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń pariwo. Ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ni wá lára. Ìyanijẹ ọ̀hún papọ̀ jù. Ìfẹ̀tọ́ ẹni lánilójú. Ìdúkookò mọ́ni. Ìjínigbé. Sùmọ̀mí. Ìjẹgàba. Ṣíṣe àtìlẹ́yìn fún àwọn afẹ̀míṣòfò. Mẹ̀kúnnù ń pariwo ebi lójoojúmọ́. Àrílégbé. Àárọ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀sùn. Inú fún àyàfo la fi ń kiri. Ajẹ́ pé bólówó ẹni ọ̀bá mọ̀ pé léyà o. Ó tọ́ ó yẹ kí wọ̀fà ó sì wọ oko ríro. Ìdí nìyí tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà àti gbogbo ẹ̀yà Ìgbò lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà fi ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìwọ́de wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ lọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta láti pe gbogbo àjọ àgbáyé sáwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ aburú tó ń lọ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà níbi tí wọ́n ti ní ọ̀wọ̀ fún ẹ̀mí ẹranko jẹ̀mí èèyàn lọ. 3 days marathon mega rally Washington DC l'Amẹ́ríkà ló gbé máa wáyé. Ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ẹ̀yà Ìgbò àti Yorùbá tó lágbára. Ọ̀tún wẹ òsì òsì wẹ ọ̀tún lọ́wọ́ fi mọ́. Káfi tọ́rọ́ mọ́kọ́bọ̀ lówó fi dòdìndì. Òfun wo ìwòrìwò ń abádìjọ wò ní gún gẹ́gẹ́. Ìwọ ojúlówó ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá ti ń bẹ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Darapọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and indigenous people of Biafra ní September 30th, October 1st and 2nd, 2021. Ọgbọ̀njọ́ oṣù kẹsàn-án, ọjọ́ kìíní àtọjọ́ kejì oṣù kẹwàá. British Embassy ní Washington DC láti máa gbéra. Láago 9 òwúrọ̀ sáago 2 ọ̀sán. Láti bẹ̀rùn láti doríkọ White House ní 30th of September. Tó bá wá di 1st of October, White House láti máa gbéra lọ sí Capitol Hill. Sunday láago 11 òwúrọ̀ sáago 3 ọ̀sán. Ibẹ̀ látún ti padà sí White House. White House la máa wà títí dalẹ́ ọjọ́ Sátidé kẹlẹ́lẹ́. Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and indigenous people of Biafra, powered and organized by all Yoruba Nation and indigenous people of Biafra, endorsed by all self-determination group and media in diaspora. Our dear father, Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye, leader of Yoruba and Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà worldwide. Tajudeen O Adejamiu, akọ̀wé Sheikh Abdulrahim Aduanigba, Chief Imam Yorùbá Délédoko, Alhaji Nunu Banjo, Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally, Washington DC Chapter Coordinator, Olifa Obi, Eastern Region Coordinator for Indigenous People of Biafra, Prophet Ayodele Ologunloluwa, Chairman for Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally, Ndubueze Ejiazi, Central Region Coordinator for Indigenous People of Biafra. Gbogbo media agitator ló fọwọ́ sí. Dress code, flag. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ń bẹ l'Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹ jẹ́ àdá gírígírí bẹ̀. Kí wọ́n má fi re wa ṣàpínlẹ̀.
ṣàkápò ẹkùn bí kálukú bá sọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni ò bá lẹ́jọ́ nù gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jáde o kẹ́kùn ló gbọ́ kó sọ fún tòkó káàdì ó gbọ́ kó rò fún ọ̀bẹ wípé ó tó gẹ́ wà yìí àsìkò ti tó fún ìran Yorùbá láti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè àsìkò ti tó láti jàjàgbara ajàṣẹ́gun láti gba orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà orí mi o ìkúnlẹ̀ abiyamọ ẹ bá wo bí wọ́n ti ń pa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nípakúpa ajé odidi ìlú ni wọ́n kì í lọ́bọ̀ tí wọ́n sì jó kanlẹ̀ dẹ́rù ìkúnlẹ̀ abiyamọ kí ló dé kí ló ṣe ká la ṣẹ̀ tí wọ́n fi ẹ̀tọ́ ìwádùn wá gan kí ni tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan eléyìí gangan ni a fi sọ yìí pé ó tó gẹ́ ẹ wá gbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ò lè wá kú kí lóye ilé bàbá rẹ̀ jẹ o ẹ má ṣe dàgúnlá àti aṣáájú lọ́kọ̀ mi lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí gbogbo wa lọ̀rọ̀ yìí kàn ìgbẹ́kẹ̀ ní fọwọ́ tilé ìgbà aláàmù ní fọwọ́ tó gírí ìdí nìyí táwọn ẹgbẹ́ àjàjàgbara fún ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáńláyé ẹ̀ka tìlú Amẹ́ríkà àti agbègbè rẹ̀ lábẹ́ àkóso àti olùdarí Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye leader of Yoruba land and ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà worldwide àti àwọn ìsọ̀ǹgbè rẹ̀ tí ẹ ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìwọ́de ńlá ọlọ́jọ́ méjì gbáǹkọ́gbì 2 days Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally eléyìí tí ó wáyé ní ọjọ́ 14 àti ọjọ́ 15 oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún tá a wà yìí 14 to 15 September 2021 èyí tí ó máa wáyé ní United Nations Building ní 809 United Nations Plaza C22 York New York 10017 3503 United States ẹ wá gbọ́ o ẹ yẹ kí fapá kan fò gbogbo ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ àti ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan tó ń jà fún àti dádúró ọmọ Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè lámẹ́tí níbi ìwọ́de wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ yìí tẹ̀ bá ń bọ̀ aṣọ dúdú black t-shirt òní kí gbogbo wọn wọ̀ láti lè ṣèdárò àwọn ọmọ ojúlówó Yorùbá àtàtà táwọn Fúlàní ti ṣekú òjijì pa ó mà ṣe o àti láti fẹ̀hónú wa hàn wípé ó tó gẹ́ aláǹlọ ní Yorùbá Nation ó di dandan aago 9 àárọ̀ ni ètò yóò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí di ìrọ̀lẹ́ kẹlẹ́lẹ́ alága chairman gbogbogbò fún ìwọ́de yìí Prophet Ayọ̀délé Olúgbòlúwa PRO alukoro ni VMSE Solomon Adélájà akọ̀wé secretary Tajudeen O Adéjàmí fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àti ìtọ́sọ́nà tàbí láti fi ìrànlọ́wọ́ owó ránṣẹ́ ẹ lè pe àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí +1 215 869 2966 +1 803 846 1116 tàbí kẹ́ẹ̀kan sí wa lórí wẹ́bsáìtì wa www.megarally.org ẹ gbọ́ iṣẹ́ gbogbo wa ní àjọṣe gbogbo wa ní má dàgúnlá rí wípé wá síbi ìwọ́de yìí nítorí pé Yorùbá